In this video, we'll cover the product master detail view. So with master detail view, we have the master view, so all of the products, and then when the user clicks on the product, we want to show the actual details. So the application will show the details for a selected product. So we'll have the product image, the title, price, cart buttons, description, and so on. Alrighty, so here's our development process. So the first thing we'll do is we'll create a new component for product details. Then we'll add a new Angular route for product details. Next, we'll add router link to the product list grid HTML page. And then we'll enhance the product details component to retrieve the product from the product service. Then we'll update the product service to call the URL on the Spring Boot app. And then finally, we'll update the HTML page for the product details component to display those product details. All right, step one of creating a new component for product details. And this is really easy, right? We simply use the ng generate component, and then we give components/product details. And then in step two, we'll add a new Angular route for product details. So in our app.mod.ts file, we'll add a new entry here for the route. So we have path products/:id, and then the actual component. So the :id is the parameter, and then the component is the product details component. So this is the actual component that we created on the previous slide. With step three, we're going to add the router link to the product list grid HTML. So here's our main page here. And so basically when the user clicks the product, then we want to show the details. So we're going to add a link on the product image and also add a link on the product name. All right, so a bit more here on this step three, the actual coding. So product list grid component.html, in our section of looping over the collection of products, we're going to add a link on the product image using our anchor router link. And then we'll do a similar thing here for adding a link on the product name. And so notice here, we're actually passing over the parameter value here. So we pass over the temp product.id for the image and also temp product ID for the given name. Then in step four, we're going to enhance the product details component to retrieve the product from product service. So the first thing we do is we get the ID parameter string. We do that by saying parammap.getID. And remember, we set up this given parameter name based on the app module TS when we set up the given route. And then we do the normal stuff here of converting the string to a number using the plus symbol. So finally, on the left-hand side, we'll have const the product ID, which is a number, is assigned to this given value. And then we actually retrieve the product from the product service. So this get product is a new method that we'll actually create in the product service for retrieving a given product. Alrighty, step five of updating the product service to call the URL on the Spring Boot app. So here's our product service.ts. Here's that new method, get product. So in this method, we need to build the URL based on the product ID. So we make use of that localhost 8080 API products/the product ID. And then we make a call to the REST API using that product URL. This returns an observable. In this case, the JSON data return can be converted directly to a product object. So here, there's no need to unwrap the JSON from the Spring Data REST. There's no underscore embedded entry. And we'll see more of that on the next slide. So mapping the JSON to product. So here's the URL for retrieving a product ID, for example, 2. We give localhost 8080/API/products/2. This will give us this JSON. And note, this is a built-in feature of Spring Data REST. There's no additional coding or configuration required. You get this out of the box. And over on the right-hand side, we have our product.ts class. So this JSON data can be converted directly to the product object. So the JSON properties map directly to properties in the product class. So here's our JSON. Note the items here that's highlighted. Then this converts over to the actual product. And again, matching directly on those given property names. So note here, there's no underscore embedded. There's no additional interface or mapping that we need. We can kind of go one-to-one here. Alrighty, step 6 of updating the HTML page for product details component to display the product details. So on our details page, we want to have the image, we want to have the name of the product, the price, a cart button, and also the actual description of the product, and also a navigation link to go back to the main product list. So let's kind of look at the coding here, and this is mainly just an HTML exercise. So here's our product details component.html. So we have the image source equals product.image URL. So it'll also give us the image. We have information over here for the product name, the price, the cart button. Then we have the actual description. And then finally, we have a link back to the product list using a router link. And that's basically it for the coding on the product details HTML page. Okay, so this looks great. Let's go ahead and move into our IDE and let's start writing the code.